Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. So this week's reading is a pick a card about your future career. So if you're curious what the best career path is for you and where you might end up in the future, this reading should give you a little bit of clarity and guidance on that. I always ask for accuracy in my reading, so I really do hope that it resonates with you. If it does, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share it if you feel so inclined. And we are working with 3 different piles today. So over here we have pile 1 with the Amethyst point. Here we have pile 2 with the Smoky Quartz point. And then here we have pile 3 with the Fluorite point. So take a moment to tune in and pick whichever pile resonates most with you. And once you've got that, you can fast forward using the timestamps below to get your own personal reading. And I will see you there. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's tap into your future career path and see what we can get for you. So you have the Magician, and I'm only going to pull a few cards today, and we're just going to read and see what is coming through energetically. We have the Devil. We have the Hanged Man. The High Priestess. Okay, and we have the 4 of Wands. So pile 1, I'm really getting the vibes like you are a different person from the masses and like you want to create something. And I'm really picking that up from the Magician here because the Magician is not like everybody else. They are very creative. They're normally like an entrepreneur or somebody who wants to change something. And I keep hearing system. So you might even be more technical in nature. Like you might create a product or processes that really help to make things more organized. And I'm just hearing you really care about making things more efficient too. But it's not only about efficiency with that. You care about really up-leveling society and bringing people to the next level. And to me, it seems like you have a lot of creative ideas and you probably are a very out-of-the-box thinker. And what I'm picking up on is not everybody always understands your ideas. Like they might feel like they're way out of scope or they're way too big, or perhaps you are even a little bit too determined and optimistic. But I actually think that this is going to be your major selling point throughout life, and this is going to be the thing that does make you successful in the end. It will be easy for you to at times feel a little bit stuck because I'm hearing it's going to feel like you live in 2 different worlds. On the one hand, you might have like a corporate job and have to exist within society's standards. On the other hand, there's a very deep creative part of you. And I almost feel like that creativity is being suppressed right now. And I do think it comes out in other ways. Like you might do things on the side or have hobbies where your creativity is really allowed to blossom. But what I'm hearing is that it's not yet necessarily your full-time thing, or if entrepreneurship and building this system or this community is your full-time thing, then I'm feeling like you might actually repress yourself sometimes. And this is not something to beat yourself up about, but when we see the Devil, that does indicate that you're operating a little bit cyclically, as in you're kind of using the same approach over and over and over again, and the universe and your spirit guides are kind of pointing you to the fact that actually that's not going to work any longer. You are going to have to shift and change it, but I do see a slight delay in making the change. And I want you to know I think that's okay because I actually think that you're gaining a lot of maturity during this time. And I'm also hearing it is helping you be really fast on your feet. Like there's something about the situation that you're in where you are juggling a few things at the same time. Perhaps you even have like a client alongside your normal job, or perhaps you have started kind of like doing things for your own business. And I'm just hearing that it's making you like a really fast learner and you can turn things around quickly. So I think that people are naturally very impressed by you because you're pretty quick on your toes, is what your spirit guides are saying. I am getting this impression that you have this like fear of being seen or being found out for some reason. So I don't know, maybe you're like kind of working like odd hours at your normal job and like making up for that in like other ways, like perhaps you're using the time towards your spiritual business or your side business or whatever. Like perhaps you are using that time towards your business or whatever. But I just see like a rabbit in my mind or a hare, and it has its ears pricked up and it feels like it's being observed and watched by a lot of different people. So to me, I do think that you feel like you're kind of under the spotlight, even if you don't want to be. So you might feel like people are questioning you, like questioning your motives or not understanding fully where you're coming from. But I actually think that's okay. Again, I really do see you ending up very happy. I see a slight delay here, so this honestly really varies by the person watching. I'm getting this could be anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, which I know is not super helpful if you are looking for a very strict timeline here. But basically, your readiness is something that is going to come internally and then, of course, externally with money to jump into this entrepreneurship world. And I do feel that you are meant to be your own boss. I think you're going to work for other people for a while, and I think it's okay. And I actually think you're a pretty good employee, but you don't really want to work for other people long term. Like, you want to be your own boss. You want to set your own rules. You want to be successful in that way. So yes, I keep getting drawn back to like system, organizing things, and it does have to do with entrepreneurship, and I think you might even support people transforming in some way, shape, or form. So this could be anything like helping them transform their diet so that they're more healthy, or helping them kind of go through like a coaching program, for example, so that they really are more aware of who they are. But I do get very strong technical vibes. So whatever it is that you're doing, it's like towards a product or a feature, or perhaps you're working with software engineers very intently. It seems like the technology is a big piece of you being successful, and without the technology, the success won't come. And that's just like the honest message that I'm hearing right now from your spirit guides. I also think that it's going to take a while to build this up. So you might start like a MVP or like the minimum kind of viable product, and that's fine. And I think that that's going to go really well. And I do encourage you to start it. I see you getting really enriched by that project and excited and charging ahead, so I think that's good. But there are certain things that still have to be validated and learned. And we have the High Priestess here. And so again, I do have this feeling like your business and your mission in life to create the system and to create even a community, I keep hearing that too, is really going to put all of the eyes on you. Like, many people are going to be looking at you. A lot of people are going to be assessing your performance. In some ways, this is a little bit overwhelming at times, but I see you being good at it, and I actually see you learning a lot. I see you up-leveling through taking courses, reading a lot of books as well. I see you really rising high when it comes to this and being able to be the person that oversees this. And although there might be a delay because of the Devil and the Hanged Man and the High Priestess, all three together here, I really want you to notice that all of these 4 cards are actually major arcana cards, so this is very much destined for you. This is like something where internally you've always known that you were meant to do this, and you're meant to be different, and also you're meant to be like bigger in some ways than the other people in your life. And that's also why at times you will feel like other people don't understand your line of thinking, but that's okay. I feel that in the future you're going to find the right community that seems very energetic and entrepreneurial and is really going to help you out. So if you have been dreaming of being an entrepreneur, then I'm really happy for you, because you're definitely going to get it. You have the 4 of Wands here, and this shows all of your dreams coming true. I really do feel that in the future you have your dream career. So think to yourself, if I were to write down the qualities of my dream career on paper, what would I write? What would that look like? And I really see you creating all of those things for yourself and more. I also see faith coming into this journey really strongly. So it doesn't matter whether you're religious or spiritually minded or both. It's not so much about what kind of line of thinking you subscribe to, but rather I see faith supporting you in this journey, because the truth is that the people who are on the ground with you are not going to understand it all the time. and you might get people who question you or second guess you. And if you're not crystal clear on what you want to do, I see that kind of tugging at you and being a point of concern. But what I really advise you to do is wash out all of those voices, just completely drown them out and just focus on your faith and your spirituality, because that is going to be the thing that gives you the hope to carry through. And I see you being really successful. I do see you making a lot of money in the future as well, because we have the Magician, and that is a very strong energy here. And also I want you to notice the Magician and the Devil both have infinity symbols. So whatever it is you're going to create is going to outlast you. It's like your creation is going to last forever, even if your physical body doesn't. And I feel like that is a very strong message. So I think my main advice from this reading is really try and learn as much as you can in this time and get crystal clear on your vision. And if your vision is crystal clear, I feel that other people around you are not going to question you very much, because they see that you're so committed to what you want to do. Really believe in yourself, tap into your spiritual journey, listen to all of the pick a card readings you need to. You're going to get exactly what you want in the end. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And just be willing to be a student as well, because the results might not come in immediately, but I do see a lot of developments within the next 4 to 6 months for this group, and especially in the next 3 years. I think that you're going to transition to what you want to do full-time if you haven't already, and be a real entrepreneur and your own boss. So I hope that this helped you, and I hope it gave you some clarity and guidance. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share it if you feel so inclined. And if you would like to work together or join any of my events, I am going to have a bunch of offerings coming up, so you can check those out in the links down below. And I'm going to send you off with so much love and light. Thank you. Bye. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to tap into your future career. And your first card here is the King of Cups. And I immediately just heard therapist. So if any of you are interested in therapy, counseling, psychology, that is right there for you. This is a good pile for you, if so. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Tower, and the Hierophant. Okay, so yeah, I have to bucket this pile a little bit because I'm hearing there's a couple different types of people, which is super normal. So I am putting teachers, healers, psychologists, therapists, counselors all in this pile together because you are sent to heal the masses. That is the first thing that I heard. You are meant to work with people directly. So sure, you might do it remotely on Zoom or whatever kind of platform, but you are meant to be a healer. When we have the cups here, you are a very grounding figure. You're a very sensitive soul, and other people love being around you. They love your presence. They love your energy. You are the type of person who makes people feel very safe and heard. And that is actually one of your greatest talents, is your presence. You're naturally going to deal with a lot of difficult situations in your life. And some of these are not actually towards you per se, but rather you will be the bearer of them or the counselor of them, meaning that a lot of people are going to come to you with their problems. I see you at times having to set much stronger boundaries. Like when we see the Seven of Wands, this is someone who has to put a hand up and say, hey, I'm here for you and I love you, but I really need a little bit of time to myself right now. So your spirit guides are just wanting you to know that if you need to do that, that's perfectly fine. And the more that you do that intentionally, the better your advice is actually going to be. Because otherwise you might get very drained and overwhelmed. And I do see that coming. Like I see things all around you where there's such an abundance of people who have issues and problems, and they naturally want to come to you because you're this very sensitive, grounding, patient, peaceful person. But you have to be careful that that doesn't create too much internal conflict for you, and also energetic imbalances. Because if you're an empath, like I think many of you are kind of taking in a lot of these emotions on an energetic level. So it's really important to protect yourself by surrounding yourself with white light and gold light. Purple light also works great. And I would also advise you to say a daily prayer to protect your energy. If you're not already, you can check out a couple other videos I have on that, especially the Reiki videos are really helpful. But I do see you kind of being like a net for more dramatic situations. So For some reason, I'm hearing divorce. I'm hearing more heavy things as well, right? Like the things that we deal with when we talk about psychology, therapy, so abuse, hardships, anxiety, trauma. You have the resources and the grounding energy to deal with those things and to understand how to navigate them. And I'm not so much saying that you have a solution for them, because that's not truly what is most important. What's actually most important is your presence and your ability to listen to others. And because we have the Queen of Wands here, I'm also just hearing that you are a natural coach. Like, you're the type of person who can easily reflect back to somebody what they're going through, and they feel extremely heard by you. So your presence is a great talent, your listening abilities are a great talent, your advice is also amazing. When we have the Hierophant here, some of you might actually naturally fall into teaching roles, and it's because you have this grounding presence once again. So this would be you teaching to your students, your pupils, and even if this is not formal teaching, you might pursue informal teaching in the, like, for example, like volunteering or something like that. You might even be like a coach, like a sports coach, for example, but anything that falls under the umbrella of teaching, you'll naturally be really good at. And I want you to know that in a big way, this is your life purpose. And you are always going to be happy if you're surrounded by people that you can grow and mentor. I feel like a lot of you are very into personal development. So I'm not necessarily saying that you're reading books all the time about it, but I do feel that it's a subject that piques your interest. And I also get a huge energy of children around you. So some of you might love working with children, or might be a preschool teacher, for example. Like, I definitely feel like a lot of younger energy in your field. And if you haven't pursued that yet, I would advise going towards that, because that's going to make you extremely happy. And I just see your face lighting up with joy, and you're almost like glowing because you're so happy to be able to be working with children and helping the next generation grow up and kind of like know how to navigate the world, which can be very challenging at times. For a select few of you, you're also going to help people deal with difficult circumstances. For example, they might be immigrating from one country to another, and you're the person who counsels them through that process. So there's definitely a theme here in this group. You're a counselor, mentor, guide, somebody who has natural advice giving tendencies and is able to make the other person feel very heard. So that's your purpose. Easy peasy, not much else to it. Let me just ask quickly if there's any advice on pursuing this path. You are going to go into it for sure. Let me just see if there's anything you need to know. Cool. Okay, so I don't read reversals. I personally use the cards more as a clue, which I know sounds silly, but I start channeling pretty fast. So we have the Five of Swords, Temperance, and the Fool. So again, this is definitely a strong part of your purpose, to be this guide, this mentor, this counseling type of figure. When we have the Five of Swords, I think that there might have been something for a couple of you out there where it's like you might have studied psychology, for example, and it didn't really resonate with you, and you kind of thought, oh, that's not for me. But actually the universe is saying, really believe in yourself and have the guts to pursue that stuff again, because you know deep down that this is what you're meant to do. And for some reason, your spirit guides are saying a very odd message, but they're saying you're helping people rise from the dead, meaning that somebody can come to you and they're basically broken and they've basically given up. And then you have this amazingly peaceful presence where you somehow make them believe in themselves. Even if it's just like a little shard of light that they see, they really appreciate that, and they find you so grounding and so healing. And I also think that for many of you, this is a journey that you've gone on yourself too. So maybe when you were younger, like you also dealt with depression and anxiety, and you really worked on healing that. And that's not to say that we've healed everything. We always have more to heal, but I do feel that you're gonna pay it forward. That's kind of the general vibe that I'm getting. We have Temperance here, and so with Temperance, I'm just hearing a lot about balance. So first of all, you have this amazing ability to balance the light and the dark. So thinking of this as like a yin and yang kind of scenario where, yeah, the subject matter might be dark, but you can bring a lot of light and guidance into the situation. And when the subject matter is light and all rainbows and butterflies, you also bring a lot of realism into the situation. So some of you might be like earth figures or have earth placements in your chart, like Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, for example. You might also have a lot of water as well. So Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer would be coming up. And then here we have the Fool. So I do see a number of you pursuing a private practice that is specifically coming out as a word that your spirit guides want you to know. So if you haven't considered that, I would earmark it for the future. It doesn't mean that you need to do it right now, but I do feel that it is a very good avenue for many of you. I'm also hearing a school, adoption center, orphanage for some reason is also coming up. So working with young children, really, really good for you. You are going to have a completely new beginning. You are going to absolutely love it. The Fool is like your life's work, being able to traipse throughout life and feel like you're skipping and dancing and joyful. And that's also why I'm getting so much childlike energy. Seeing the Fool here is reminding me that when we are like children, we enjoy life more. And so I think that's what your spirit guides really want you to do at this point in time. So you can go ahead and be super tactical, and I do feel that because you are so grounded, you are naturally going to be more studious. So you are going to figure out all the resources that you need kind of on your own. But what they're really encouraging you to do is to match that with play and to think about how to balance your advice so that it encompasses both the hard parts and the realistic parts, as well as the happy parts and the fun parts. So I hope that this gave you some clarity and guidance, and I hope that it helped you. And if it did, please give me a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. You can share this video if you feel so called. And of course, comment down below if anything resonated with you in particular. I always love hearing from you. And I am going to send you all off with so much love and light. Thank you. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's tap into your future career and see what is coming up here. So the first card that you got is the Queen of Cups. So I'm going to place that down here and see what else comes through. Asking your spirit guides for clear, accurate, and specific messages today. I just heard that some of you are writers, like you might really like writing books, poetry, short stories, things like that. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Two of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. The Page of Swords. All right, so let's start with these and see how we do. So the first thing I'm getting is I think that you have a strong analytical mind, but it is very backed by creativity. So naturally, this would draw you towards a career that balances both. For some reason, your spirit guides are specifically saying graphic design, interior design, but it could honestly be anything where you have to be somewhat logical, somewhat analytical. I even feel that it's like you're a very creative person, but you're able to fit within a system is something that they're saying. So honestly, another example that's coming up is you could be like a school counselor. So you work with the students one-on-one individually, but you fit within the larger system, and you might be working towards something like education reform. What I'm getting for this pile in particular is you have a very broad range of talents. So I wouldn't be surprised if you are the type of person who can be super corporate and executive if you want to be, but also very creative and multifaceted and even spiritual if you would like to be. I'm hearing that you want to travel a lot and you really like learning on your toes as well. So you like to learn from different cultures, different environments, different people, and I see a lot of change in career for you. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm very much drawn into that because what I'm getting for this pile is It's almost like the second you've mastered something, you almost want to move on. Like, this is not the type of pile where I think that you're going to be doing the same career for 15 years. It seems like you would either want to expand your expertise or your offerings, or you would want to move on to something that is more challenging and more intellectually stimulating. And I do get this really good balance between emotions, grounding energy, and intellectual stimulation, because we have the cups, the pentacles, the wands actually too, and the swords. So you are really a very well balanced across the board type of person. So the hard thing in life is actually going to be deciding your career path, which I understand is why you're watching this video. But what your spirit guides are saying is you're so talented at so many different things that it's really just a question of where you put your focus, your attention, your energy. So I do keep getting drawn to like working in a system. I don't really know in what way though. I'm going to try and get a little bit more clarity on that. But I feel that for this pile, you're going to go through career change. For sure. So the career that you start with is definitely not the career that you're going to end with. At least I don't think so. To me, it feels like you're going to be able to generate a lot of money, even up until your like 30s, 40s. Like, you'll have a pretty high salary, higher than the average person in your field or line of work. And I'm hearing that some of you might start with more rudimentary analytical careers, and those are your spirit guides' words, not mine. But things like accounting or like legal matters, you know, and if you have a passion for that, that's excellent and amazing. And I can see you even applying that to helping people across the globe, because we have this kind of travel energy here. But I also can see you shifting away from that and just doing something completely different. It's almost like you worked, I don't know, as like a janitor, and then you decided, oh no, I want to be like a software engineer. And then you work as a software engineer and you decide, oh no, I want to be a fashion designer. Like, that's the kind of energy I'm getting for this pile. Somebody who is constantly learning, likes to be challenged, like really gets bored fairly quickly and easily. So I'm going to say the type of career that is best for you to pursue is one that is kind of fast moving. It does not have to be crazy hectic, but I won't be surprised if a number of you work at startups or high growth companies, or companies where they're having to build something and build it quickly. And I also really wouldn't be surprised if many of you wanted to be entrepreneurs, wanted to be your own boss, wanted to create something new in the world, because there's not a lot of newness to this pile. I also think that if you are at all technically inclined, like product management might also be like a good area of work for you. But I can see you doing many things. I can see you doing marketing, advertising. There's a huge energy around all of this for you. Basically, your spirit guides are saying whatever you try your hand at, you're going to be really good at it. Why? Because you have the mind of a student and you don't consider yourself to be above anyone. So you know deep down in your heart that you are very, very smart, and you might even like place really high on an IQ test, for example. But even if you don't, you're an extremely hard worker, right? I see that here with the Seven of Pentacles. And you have this amazing ability to see where you are today and where you can be in the future. And for the things where you truly want to put your energy towards it, you kind of have this foresight and this vision that even people who are like 10 years your senior don't have. And so I see you being really successful. The thing about this pile is honestly, like, people are going many, many different routes. And so it's hard to tell you like exactly what industry you're going to be in, but I see you going very high up. So this would be either you being your own boss, but for many, and I have the feeling this actually applies to most people, it would be like raising really high up in the ranks. For example, leading a whole department, becoming like a vice president, maybe even becoming like CEO or something, or head of HR or something like that. So I really do see you being very, very successful and going extremely high, higher than that of your peers. I feel that you are ascending, and there's something about your skill set that the corporate world and the business world actually really likes and really wants to leverage. And I also see you as a good manager too. So whether you enjoy management or not, you are like a natural person who can drill down to, here are the requirements, here's what we have to do. Okay, team, come on. Like, you have a good way of keeping morale is something that I'm hearing. and getting people to focus on a task. So what I would love to do, if I could use your skill set, is kind of like give you a messy basket full of all of these different things, and then have you tell me how to structure it, how to organize it. That's why I keep getting drawn to like project management and things like that. But like I said, you have so many options available to you: graphic design, marketing, working within systems in any shape or form is going to be a very successful career path for you. I do see you wanting to be at the cutting edge of innovation. I have this feeling like if you were to just completely remove yourself from today's like innovative landscape, you might actually feel a little bit outdated, because you're the type of person who wants to learn endlessly, and you have this wealth of knowledge, and you might even want to be taking courses online from experts. And I'm hearing that you want a lot of knowledge about many different things, but it's like once you understand the landscape across those different topics, you want to go extremely deep on specific topics and really become an expert. And I actually see you doing like thought leadership and things like that, like hosting webinars, hosting talks. Like that type of energy is in your field because you're so charismatic and confident, and you can stand up there and say whatever it is that you want, and people just instantly trust you. Like you have this way of getting instant buy-in from people, and it's really because of your tone, and also you've spent years like studying some of this stuff. But what your spirit guides are saying, and they're kind of laughing when they're saying this, is that even if you haven't spent years studying something, you have this nature about you where people are going to listen to you regardless, and it's kind of like you'll give advice and people will just say, oh, okay, sure, sounds good. So you have judgment here. So I do know that your career is an extremely important part of your life. You probably find yourself thinking about it a lot. I wouldn't necessarily call you type A, but I would say that you verge on analytical, or you push yourself really hard, meaning that your standards for yourself are above and beyond what is actually expected of you. So your 80% is somebody else's 120%, and your 100% is far above what somebody else could do with the same amount of time and the same resources. So I'm just hearing analytical thinker, you're really good at critical thinking, good on your toes, probably have a really high intelligence. And even if you don't think of yourself that way, your spirit guides are saying you are like the cream of the crop. You are like in some of the smartest circles that are possible. And so really believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, because you're going to create amazing things in the world. And I see you getting recognition with money as well. So not only will you have the title, if that's what you want, and if that's the type of thing you want to work for, but you will also have the funding or the finances. I see you being recognized and people really wanting to keep you. So your spirit guides are just saying you're like an asset that people want to keep, and they're showing a huge diamond, and they're saying that every team that you work with or every person that you work with understands your uniqueness. Like they truly understand, wow, this person is so different from all of the other people that I've interacted with, and they really have a special combination of skills, and that's what people think about you. So I know you're going to be really successful. Let me know what you're doing right now in the comments down below. I would honestly be fascinated to hear, because there are so many options for this pile, but I do feel that you will be extremely successful, extremely financially lucrative, and I hope this reading resonated. I hope it gave you some clues and some clarity. If it did, and if you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and motivates me and allows us to spread more light around the world. And if you feel so inclined, you can always share it or even book my services at the links down below. So I do offer personal readings, coaching, I do events as well, a whole bunch of different things. So go ahead, check them out. I would love to meet you and be with you. And I am going to send you off with so much love and light. Thank you so much for listening today, and take care. Bye.